today. This is our 5th at 1 p.m. No, okay, this is our 4th at 1 p.m. with someone that I revere so much. I'll be calling on Tolu to do an introduction of who she is, someone that I really, really admire. I'm sure we're going to learn a thing or two, especially working with startup in Africa. Okay, so let's go there. Tolu, are you ready? Tolu, are you ready? Okay. Is Tolu there? Okay, let me just get a profile up. Anyway, sometimes you want things to work normally. They just have a life of their own. Yeah, so just give me one moment. She's got the profile of our guest. First and foremost, I'll tell you this much, that she is the current president for Founders Institute. If you know the organization, you know they've helped a lot of entrepreneurs to actually build startup. She's been chasing me, and I promise you, I'm enrolling for the next Founders Institute. She's been after my neck for me to join the first Founder Institute. She's the managing director for Founders Institute. Tolu, are you here? I'm the MD, managing director for Hibiscus Capital. So you know that entrepreneurship owns our economy at the moment because of the startup and what we have done. It is an honor. She's a JCI senator, like I'm a JCI senator. She's just a remarkable example of what true leadership it's all about. I know how one-on-one from our journey, and I recognize the impact that the Founders Institute. If you don't know Founders Institute, I can't help you. So if you're trying to get grants, which I am, and I need to get into the ecosystem, not just about the grants, it's just the help that it help businesses to
Hello.
Hello, Ajuma, you can start. My network dropped.
Oh, okay. So we lost
Yeah, I thought I
audio
finished
connection.
my apologies. I thought I
Okay.
finished my introduction, so I apologize. So I didn't know that network, but you have the floor. Thank you, everybody, for
Okay.
your patience. I'm so impressed by the numbers that have joined today. So I'm very excited. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
The floor is yours.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. And it's a great pleasure to meet you all. And already my introduction has been made, but let me, I think, do that again. For those who are just joining that missed out, my name is Ajuma Ataguba, and I'm the Managing Director of Founder Institute, Abuja. Founder Institute is the world's largest pre-seed accelerator, and our headquarters is in the US, Silicon Valley. And what we do is we help startups, especially technology startups, to build fundable companies. So it's a company building infrastructure. So all that you need to build a business that starts local and go global, we have a bouquet of that. And it's a great pleasure. We've worked with tons of entrepreneurs, and happy to be talking, sharing some insights with female entrepreneurs. So, and my topic is about agile leadership, female leadership, agile female leadership, and how you can use data within your organization, to how you can unleash your power as, as a female entrepreneur, providing female leadership, and how you can use data. Data is king. So thank you also for this opportunity, Mercy. Great to be of support. And so, imagine, the combination of female leadership. We all know the difference that female leadership makes in organizations. And then a combination of that with data-driven strategies will indeed create that powerful synergy that promotes diversity, one, and also empower individuals, in such a way that decision-making within an organization would, be enhanced, and, the outcomes are definitely more sustainable outcomes. So what's agile leadership? We all know the meaning of the word agility. And so it's a leadership approach, that emphasizes flexibility, adaptability, responsiveness in leading your team as a female leader. So characteristics include being adaptable, collaboration, empowerment, iteration. Iteration is to quickly, based on feedback that you get within the organization, you're able, to change strategy. And then being customer-centric is a key characteristics of agile leadership. What is the pain point of your customer? How much are they willing to pay for a product or your service? You need to know. So it's not about designing a product and you believe, you assume that the customer comes first. You need to meet the customer's needs, and transparency, stewardship. And so let's look at Sarah, who is a trailblazing leader, who exemplifies all of these characteristics, of agile female leadership. But she understands that it's not just about being quick to respond and all of these other characteristics of agile leadership, but adaptability is key. Innovativeness is key, and then empathy. And empathy is something, a key characteristic that is innate in women leaders. And so empathy is that, you're able to understand, reason out with, a colleague, a staff, about an issue.
Yes. Is it cool?
I'm having some interruption. Okay. Yeah. So empathy is a key quality that women have, and this makes them stand out, when they're leading in organizations. So what agile leadership in action. So for Sarah, as a female leader, it goes beyond intuition, just trying to imagine, or being intuitive about what, you need to do to run the organization. You need to rely on data, and using the appropriate data tools, you are able to decipher, if you look at the chart on the right, what percentage, to allot to, parental leave, employee discounts, professional development, flexible work arrangements, and on and on and on and on. All that, and a typical organization will require health insurance. So data, with this data, the right, with the ability to gather data or making use of data strategies, you're able to make a decision, whilst planning, strategizing, and budgeting for your organization. So now, with agile leadership strategies in place, Sarah's, the organization just doesn't survive, it thrives, because it is based on reliable data, and the data that is gathered is what informs the strategies, the steps, the actions, the implementation, of activities within the organization. So in 2012, for example, if we look at this growth chart, Sarah founded the organization, and then, the initial product was developed alongside extensive market research. We talked about customer-centric. When you do extensive market research, you're able to determine your customer needs and to also determine whether the product and idea you're offering meets the need of a customer. So data is relied upon to, implement this. And by 2014, first round of funding was secured to support her growth and development. By 2016, strategic partners were formed with industry key players, awards, recognitions for innovation and impact. So fast forward to 2022. 2020, successful completion, recruitment, team building, expansion, advisory board, management team all in place, and then introduction of new offerings by 2022. Progress of this company, of this organization, all relies on data that has been gathered along the way. By 2024, expansion of target market segments into new markets, and also customer diversification. So, what are the steps that you need, to make implement data-driven strategies? So, data-driven decision-making is an approach to making choices and formulating strategies and solving problems that rely on the systematic analysis and interpretation of what data. So you start by defining clear objectives for the company, establish a data culture. Remember at the beginning of Sarah's business, when she founded the company, they engaged in excessive market research. So starting with inculcating data culture, and we can see on that chart through step by step in their growth process, how based on reliable data, they were able to make the progress that they made. So data collection and integration, data storage and management, there are tools for doing this. Data analysis and visualization, identifying key performance indicators, then building predictive models, and then making informed decisions based on your data, and then implementing data-driven processes. So another step is to monitor and iterate. Monitor and iterate is very, very key. As you monitor the processes that you've implemented, the feedback you get, if it's positive, you continue. If it's not, then you need to quickly, iterate. And training and skill development is also a key step for implementation. Data security and compliance, communication, collaboration, also very, very key. So what kind of synergy, does Agile female leadership have with data-driven strategies? It's important, very, very important that as a leader, you lead by example. So you walk the talk. So your team will do what you do. So establishing a data-driven culture means that you're also practicing that culture. Promoting data literacy means that provide training and resources to help team members to understand how data is collected, how it is analyzed, and how to interpret data effectively. And of course, setting clear objectives. This needs to be clearly set out, and they must align with the overall business strategy of the company. Also, collection of relevant data. We work with the teams to identify and also make sure that this the data collection is aligned with strategic goals of the company. And you leverage on data for innovation. So you are not collecting data for data's sake. So your teams must be encouraged to explore new ideas and innovations based on the data insights. And that's where we're talking about monitoring and iterating. So data can often uncover opportunities for improvement and innovation that may not be immediately apparent. So good, you fall in love with your idea, but if the data, the feedback you're getting is does not validate the idea or the strategies that you're trying to implement, it means you have to go back to the drawing board, and you do that quickly. The data will show you what direction to head on, to go along with. And there's the need for the use of data for agile planning. So this must be incorporated in your development process. Data can help you to prioritize your tasks, allocate your resources, and make adjustments to your project plans in real time. And your teams need to be provided with access to data and analytic tools that can also make them help them make informed decisions. So they take ownership of their projects and use the data to guide their actions, not assumptions or not what the CEO thinks. Data is reliable data is what should guide your team's actions. Then also collaboration, there's need to foster collaboration. So, between your different teams and departments, they also need to share data and insights. So cross-functional collaboration also leads to holistic solutions and more comprehensive understanding of challenges. Also, with data, you can measure your progress and adapt. Implementation of the KPIs, and metrics to measure your progress towards objectives. So this, you regularly need to review and analyze the data and identify trends and make adjustments that are needed. Also, the synergy, a key synergy is also communication. So data, ought to be used to support communication and storytelling, and presenting data in a way that is easy for others to understand. And also in support of diversity and inclusion, data will help you in promoting this, using this initiative. So you encourage diverse perspectives and voices in decision-making processes to avoid bias and ensure well-rounded insights. Data privacy and ethics, these approaches, you need to adhere to ethical guidelines with privacy regulations. And so, as an agile female leader, it's important that you learn and adapt. Your leadership entails that you stay updated on evolving data analytics technologies and best practices. Encourage a culture of continuous learning and improvement in data-related skills and tools. As an agile female leader, leveraging, data-driven strategies must also celebrate achievements that result from these data-driven initiatives, whilst encouraging a culture that views failures as opportunities for learning and improvement. So failing for entrepreneurs, for business, for leaders, when you make mistakes, it's an experience, and you ought to learn from that experience. You ought to see it as an opportunity and not be let down by it. And of course, the data speaks. So the data speaks, and that's why we talk about adapting. So when once the strategies have failed, the data will show. The data shows up, and you quickly iterate and learn from the failure. What did you do wrong? What could you have done better? And then you move on. And ultimately, mentoring and empowering others. So an agile female leader is an agile female leader in an organization. You act as a mentor and role model for other aspiring female leaders within the organization and also outside of the organization. Empower them to embrace data-driven approaches and develop leadership skills. So it's we have some statistics. According to the International Finance Corporation, 1 in 3 formally registered businesses are owned by women. 80% of jobs worldwide are in small and medium-sized enterprises, which are disproportionately owned and run by women. So the National Bureau of Statistics also reports that 40% of businesses in Nigeria are owned by women. And another report, according to same report, it says that women-led MSMEs contribute significantly to economic growth and job creation. In conclusion, another World Bank report has indicated that a 1% increase in women's contribution to business globally will raise the level of GDP by 54.8%. So just imagine what impact, agile female leadership will do when you leverage on data-driven approaches. And we have quite a number of examples of female entrepreneurs, women in business that are doing well in Nigeria and applying these strategies. One of them is Onuayo Eweni, who is the co-founder of Piggyvest. And also we have Dr. Sasikala, who is the founder of Long Experts, an affordable 90% accurate AI-based prognostics tool. We have Sheon Ronshewe, who is senior manager of Africa's newest unicorn, Cheaper Cash, as a fintech. And we have Damilola Oloko Kesusi, who is co-founder and CEO of Nigeria's leading transport-driven startups. And we have Damilola Odufuwa, who leads public relations and communications for Africa at Binance, which is the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. So in conclusion, agile female leaders can use data-driven approaches to drive positive change, promote innovation, and lead their organizations towards greater success. By integrating data into decision-making processes and fostering a data-centric culture, they can leverage the power of information to make more informed and impactful decisions. Thank you for listening. And I hope you've learned a thing or two. And we can take questions or comments. Thank you.
Does anybody have any question? Hi, Makuba, good to see you, ma. Ça va?
Ça va bien. How are you?
I need to send you the virtual screen so that you can use it. It's good to have you on board. Hi, does anybody have any question? Tolu, are you ready to moderate questions? Do you have a question to ask her? Remember, the goal of what we're doing here is to educate, to inform, to empower our community. So do you have any question for her? Okay.
Please, I want to ask if anyone has a question for her. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for having us, and thank you for your insightful topic. We enjoyed it. Good to have you here. Please, do you have more questions or any question, rather?
Does anybody have any question? Okay.
Thank you for this very informative session. It was very inspiring. One of the things I've seen as an agile professional and entrepreneur is, what are some of the strategies that you have seen that we can increase leadership, agile leadership in this space, particularly on the continent, because we have an aspect of culture that we see in the business. So how can we as women empower each other to increase this level of agile leadership in the business space? What are some key strategies that you can recommend? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Makuba. So, we're talking about data. So for the female entrepreneur, businesswoman, what am I saying? To make sure you're as professional as possible. Now, there are all kinds of data, collecting tools that you can use to run your business. And so you need to be in that mode of continuous learning and training. Now, when once you are equipped, you may at the initial stage, always be confronted, or the challenge of, would I call it discrimination. But once you have your stuff, once you have your stuff, your stuff, that barrier, is to a large extent eliminated. So you come into the room. On a lot of boards, I'm just like the only female there with a lot of men. They don't even see me through the lens of a man. Yes, because I prepare, I read, I study, I learn. Always, try to be ahead of your team. Try to be ahead of them. So that's a key strategy. Do your research. In starting that company, I was using that example of the young lady. Market research. Have your numbers at the tip of your hands. Whatever it takes, have a culture. A data-driven culture works. Facts don't lie. So that's the key strategy, and this will run through the whole gamut of the operations of your business, relying on data, using the tools that are out there. You deploy them. Once you do, just Google, you'll see all the different kinds of tools that you can use. And so we're in a tech-driven world today, and so I find you're speaking with women, they're not on social media, they're not on Facebook, they're not on Instagram, they're not on LinkedIn, and you want to promote a business, you want to, you need to know, you need to be abreast. Yes. If I try to even simplify it, and I say to women, I said, okay, we all have children. These children are all on their phones and their gadgets. This is their area of interest. For parents, it's like a bit irritating. They don't have time for me. They're always, but guess what? You're going to get the attention of your child, your teenager or even young adult. Once you begin to look into the tech and you're asking, teach me this, and you'll be shocked at how much information you can get out of the different tools which you can use for your business. Okay, so even if you're not able to pay for a course, your children are the first teachers, to acquire knowledge on the tools, these data-driven tools that we're talking about, which are all on the phone. So that is so acquire knowledge, learn, and then there's a lot of training online. Just YouTube, how to do this, how to use this tool, how to use that tool. YouTube is there. Just play the videos on and on, learning free. And then there are also the structured ones that you need to pay for. So my own key strategy, this is what I'll say is generalized. It has to do with learning. And once you have knowledge, you are at par. So the rest is in your mind, but once you know your stuff, men do not see you through that lens. They come to the table and they are willing to, negotiate with you on favorable terms. I hope I have helped you.
Yes, that's what I've seen in this space, being the only woman many times in a room, especially in the US. And then for people who don't look like me. So not only am I a woman, I'm also a minority in the room. And I have found that those, in addition to involving your kids, is very helpful. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, so do we have another question? Anybody with a question? Well, I just want to say that Gone are the days that we just feel, tech is not for me. Everything around our lives, around what we do, is tech enabled. With the advent of artificial intelligence, do you know that I did something that was quite remarkable? I trained my GPT, I prompted it to become my therapist. I did. Because I just feed it the information and it gives it to me. So just know that a lot of jobs are at stake. The advent of automation, the advent of artificial intelligence, virtual reality. There's no excuse to not learn in tech. And it's an honor to actually have Ajuma here. And I'd like you to speak to Founders Institute. I know you'll be, I promise you, my schedule now is light. After this conference, I decided to take a break. Okay. I actually want to be part of the alumni. When is the next cohort happening? And what is the criterion to applying? How many of us are looking for money? If you are looking for money for your business, open and say, yeah, yeah. Or mute and say, yeah, yeah. Maybe
yes,
it's just
yes, and yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay, I thought it's only me that needs money. So let's switch to Founders Institute. I know that Founders Institute is an accelerator that actually helps you build structure to your business. It's very intense, so it's not a place you go and just faff around. I knew I didn't have the mental space at the time that she was asking me to join, but I'm actually very enthralled. I'm actually grateful to have people that look out for you. Not many people, especially in our climb, that look out for you, you know, but every opportunity, she doesn't hesitate on sharing. How many of us want to learn how to access Founders Institute Accelerator and to become qualified? If you are, can I see your hands up? Okay, I see some hands. Okay, Makuba, 2 hands up. So please tell us how to qualify.
Okay, thank you so much. Awesome. Yes. Okay. So Founder Institute, like I said, is the world's largest pre-seed accelerator. So it's a startup school. So what are you coming to do in the startup school? To learn about how to package your company in a way that is attractive, you know, for investments to investors. And these are investors who are, you know, interested in backing ideas that are still at the very early stages. And you know that at the very early stages, that's where nobody really wants to take you serious or to back you, because your business is still very, very, very high risk. Very, very high risk. And short of you using your resources, then maybe family and friends can just help you a little bit, you know. So at Founder Institute, we have a network or an infrastructure which brings in mentors to handhold you on this journey. This journey is a 4-month program. We have weekly sessions where the mentors make presentations, and then we now have the one-on-one presentations where, you know, case by case, business by business, startup by startup, they now allot time to walk you through. You know, it could be a 15-minute meeting, 20 or 30. Okay, and for the 14 weeks or the 4 months, you know, there's a new topic each week. And like I said, it's a company building structured process. And so you're able to incorporate your company within that time. You're able to add on to your team, because we also teach you how to do that, because we don't believe investors are not attracted to solo founders. Yes, you need to have a team, and then we also coach you on how to guide you on how to set up your advisory board. And then you also learn how to pitch, you know, learn how to pitch to investors. So I will call what we have like an investment readiness program, literally. And so at the end of the program, you know, all that you need to have a well-formed business should be in place. And ideally, you should be able to gain some traction. And if you gain traction, that's good. You know, that's a good indication. However, if your idea is not validated, as a matter of fact, remember in my presentation, I talked about agile leadership and need to be customer centric. The very, very first topic after, you know, vision and mission training is customer development. So it all begins with the customer. Of course, there's a problem that you've identified, but at the customers, you know, for that idea, do they exist? And if they exist, can they pay for what your solution, the price of your solution? So all of those kinds of interrogation is done. And so if after all of that research, it's a negative result that you're getting, you have to go back to the drawing board and quickly iterate. Yeah. And if not, you know, ideas, there are lots and lots of ideas, lots of problems in the world. And, you know, so you can move on to another idea and, you know, try that out. Well, the beauty of it is the feedback that you get from mentors, you know, and also you get feedback from your peers. And in a nutshell, you know, that's all that we do. And then you get the monthly sprint, the weekly sprints or assignment tasks, which are, you know, practical. So for example, back to customer development, you go out there, do surveys, you go out there to talk, find out who the customers are, you know, interview them. So it's not about just that you have this wonderful idea that you think will change the world and you've not spoken to a single customer. It doesn't work that way, because entrepreneurship is tough, you know. And so that's the bouquet that we have. Is a paid program, but where we have partners, then, you know, you can join for free. But if not, you have to pay an entrance fee to join the program. And then as an alumni of Founder Institute, we have what is called the Funding Lab. And so you progress to the Funding Lab for free. There you raise is for fundraising purely, you know, because fundraising is also not an easy task. But this fundraising we're talking about, like I said, is from angel investors and VCs, okay, not going to the banks to take a loan, because the investors are also trying to, looking for viable businesses that they can back, and for a return on their investments, they take some equity, and they are there just for a few years. And mostly we leverage technology. Technology, you know, startups are building solutions around software, especially. We do a bit of hardware, but mostly software, because we're building businesses that are starting locally, but can go have the capacity to grow global, you know, to the point of IPO. And so that's how we're structured. And of course, it's the Silicon Valley template, which we use, the same template that all the big tech guys in the world have used, you know, to build their businesses. So that's what it is. So our website, you can fi.co/Abuja. I will drop that in the chat box so you can learn more about us. Yes. And just give me a shout. I'm on LinkedIn as well. If you follow me, and then Mercy has all my contact details, then we can take it from there. So you are all welcome to join us. We want to see more women in the space, going global. That's my main motivation. So I'll be happy to have you all. Thank you.
I saw somebody in the chat saying, yeah. We're here to solve a problem. Maybe we'll be in the next cohort together. When is the next cohort starting?
18.
This month?
This month, yes.
Okay. Oh my God.
You'll still be.
I have to apply.
Oh, yes.
Please, I'd like you
apply.
all the link I dropped in the chat and just say thank you to her. Tag her in the comments. Please, let's celebrate our own. Very, very important.
Thank you.
Please click on the link. Oftentimes we say thank you in Zoom. Zoom is going to
I think Mercy has an issue, network issue. Ajuma, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Hi, how are you? I'm Abigail from the core team.
Nice to meet you, Abigail. Okay.
Yeah. So I think she was trying to conclude to close the session.
Okay.
Sure, you know, we are in Africa, so maybe she has a network issue. Thank you. Thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you so much for helping us make this conference great. Your talk was amazing. I was at the backstage, was following at the backstage.
Wow. Thank you too. And wishing you all the best.
All the best. Have we shared? Okay, yeah. So people feel free to connect with Ajuma on LinkedIn. If you have any question for her, or anything else, feel free to reach out to her directly on LinkedIn. Thank you, Ajuma. Bye.
Okay, bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. So our next talk will be with Aislinn Finn, and that will happen in 11 minutes. We will start in 11 minutes. I will just give us time to have some break, and then we'll come back for Aislinn Finn's session, and that session will be in French. Thank you, guys. Talk to you in a minute.